2023, and it is time for another edition of our online open mic, something that we used to call the stay-at-home open mic. I guess I can still call it that, but we've been doing this every single Monday since April of 2020, and we're still going strong. So what's up, everyone? My name's Richie. I am the project director of the Barbed Open Mic series. We are located in El Paso, Texas, and among many other groups around the country. When things closed down in 2020, we realized people still wanted to read, people still wanted to perform, connect. And in that time, we've built like an online community, part of which you'll see today. This is like any other open mic. So if you want to perform, all you have to do is sign up. If you are watching the live stream, what's up? Hello, thanks for tuning in. If you're watching this later during the week, during your own time, whether you're driving to work or school, or maybe you're doing some chores, some laundry, or cleaning, doing the dishes, what's up? This is a really great way to kind of experience the show too. Just, you can listen to it like a podcast. Anyway, we are located in El Paso, Texas. As I like to say, we're live and alive in the 915. Uh, we do have in-person shows as well, but these online shows are super fun because we get to connect with and hang out with people from all over the country and even all over the world sometimes. And because of the technology, we can just go and travel around like that in a snap, in just a blink in an instant. If you are watching and you do live in El Paso, though, we do invite you to our in-person open mics. We do have open mics every Tuesday downtown El Paso. We rotate between Mona Bar of Modern Art and Rosewood. They're there on San Antonio Street. This Friday, if you guys, are want to get a little socializing after eating all that turkey or whatever you guys do to celebrate Thanksgiving. If you do, we have a craft rhythm and brews session, which is a brewery in South Central El Paso. Family owned, veteran owned as well. They're fun, and Kit's gonna host. We just figured that out at the beginning of the show, so that's gonna be a lot of fun. Other than that, we'll be at Old Sheepdog next Thursday, the 30th, and we're gonna be featuring more UTEP creative writing students that day because there is a performance and poetics class that they teach at UTEP. And they asked us if they can come and read at the open mic next Thursday at Old Sheepdog. So that's going to be a fun one as well. Um, I do teach at APCC. So if you guys are watching and you're here for the Tejano Passport program, just stay tuned. I'll let you know how to get all that stuff taken care of. But today is a special day, something that we've been doing now. It's become a tradition. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce our host so he can explain it and kick things off. But otherwise, just really quick, just a couple more notes. If you guys are watching live, just something that always helps us personally is if you guys participate in the live chat. So if you are here, say hello in the live chat and then just hang out with us. I'm going to be there monitoring. I'll be saying hello to you guys. For example, Julian is in the house. What's up? Julian is doing some cool stuff and hope he can make it out. Make it back here at some point or in person. But I know he's got the art of storytelling thing going on, which sounds really fun. All right, but I'm going to talk too long. I did sign up to read at the end of the list. So not at the end, because that's a special spot. But right now, let me go ahead and introduce you to our host, the one, the only, you know him as Mr. Monday Night. It is Kit Wren. What's up, Kit? Go and take it away.
Thank you, Richie. Thank you for this opportunity
Woo-hoo!
and for taking my little idea and keeping it going. This is just really special. This is the fourth time we've done the poetry potluck. The first time by total accident. Just someone, Nico Kim, when he used to come around here, he reached out to me and wanted to cover one of my poems, and I thought that was a cool idea. So I reached out to Richie to cover one of his, and we all sort of did a round. And the next year I thought, well, this thing we did on accident, let's do on purpose this Thanksgiving. Because, there's a little myth that the solitary writer at home scribbling his little scribbles, and that's not true. That's ridiculous. Where are you ever alone? Grow up. We're a community of writers. We all take from each other, whether intentionally or unintentionally, and we all hopefully help build each other up too. That's the hope anyway. What else do we have but hope in this dark world? And so I'm going to read 3 poems by 3 different folks, a couple of whom you'll see later on tonight. But if you're a long-time watcher, then you know that 2 weeks ago, some people were having some fun in the Zoom chat, because I was mouthing along to this poem as Robin Schofield read it. But now, in her new book, I have it right here in front of me. Because I'll tell the truth, towards the end I was guessing. But this is At a Trumpet's Blast by Robin Schofield. We shall become known, whereas until that time, we shall have been unknown to ourselves, such as dark matter is known by absence of light and presence of gravity, starlight leaking. If this absence of photons is your answer, whatever the question was, it's the one you've been given. Let go your cupped hand so that the solitary leafcutter bee can pollinate the star-crossed bougainvillea and solar-flared Tacoma. She is all the universe will ever need. Dark matter nesting in the knotty pine fence, her monotonous song ever circling. When the trumpet sounds, will we be left behind? Will she be the one transformed? Say it to the scrub desert. Your answer is the pollen. Golden sacrament on black legs, this galaxy now, circling a black hole, and whatever dark matter holds it all together. And a friend of ours who, because this started as a lot of us who were doing live poetry migrating online, and a fun thing happened, and people started joining us online and then started to join us live. And that was the case with a friend of mine, Lee Martinez Soto, Lee MS. And I will drop their link tree in the chat just so y'all can find more of this and find this book wherever your books are available online. And I'm going to potentially embarrass myself and read the Spanish version too. This is Epilogue. Esta ni siquiera es mi forma final. Al principio fui lienzo en blanco y tapizaron en mis los colores de un paisaje colectivo de sus sueños y miedos. Al principio fui un pliego directo de la mente de otros, pero eventualmente las lluvias de mis ojos borraron el color de sus anhelos. En el entreabrir de ojos me pinté de rojo, capa tras capa de mi piel incendiada, y en el entrecerrar de ojos añadí azules y purpuras, evaporándose en blancos y grises, tratando de atenuar el carmesí de mi enojo. Me encontré cubierto de colores los cuales no encajaban con la pieza que quisieron fuera y los sueños que creí querer empecé de nuevo, ahora hoja en blanco, que poco a poco he ido llenado de tinta y grabatos. Aún no he terminado. This isn't even my final form. At the start, I was an empty canvas, and they painted on me the colors of a collective landscape containing their dreams and fears. At the start, I was a fraud, copied straight from the mind of others. But eventually, the rains of my eyes erased the colors of their hopes. In between the blink of an eye, I painted myself red, layer after layer of my burning skin. And when I reopened my eyes, I added purples and blues, melting into grays and whites, trying to calm down the crimson of my anger. I found myself covered in colors that didn't quite match the piece they intended for me to be, and the parts I thought I had wanted for me. So I started anew. Now a blank page that little by little I have covered in scribbles of ink and words. I am not done yet. Para los Locos by Lee MS. We also share a birthday, so no wonder we get along so well. I didn't believe in astrology until I met them. And now it's an interesting thing about these mics and about the hard work that Richie puts into them. He doesn't get enough time to read anymore. But me and Fernando, we've been trying to pick up the slack so he gets a few more opportunities, but there are other ways we can help out. First published in Barrio Panther, Volume 3. Shout out to Carlos Fidel Espinosa. This is Desert Rituals. First, there was the fox, and then so much more. As Brother Bear beckons breath, blows the conch, creates the blues and blessings of creation. Ay, permiso, let us through to thrive. In the desert, you can hear the sounds of existence breathing in and out toward persistence. We're living to be living and living before living, but death wears the mask of the living. We are society, transcendent in incandescent light and dust, as dead stars ignite to incite the unique verse of our universe, as twin-circled universal moons elevate to reveal axiomatic truths. If we must die, we must die, but not until we have lived. Mira, el sol, la luna, bodies of light and yearning, bloom, children of the cosmos, and return from the aether of timelessness. It is hidden in the lonely nopalito that grows in the desert. You are not alone. You are just the beginning. Persist, little flower. Sprout seeds of mandala meanderings, because the dance of life and death reveals itself to those who truly listen, who stand triumphant under the glow of a hungry moon. These are our residual, spiritual, individual rituals in tune with the collective. These are our sacred desert visions. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the desert music that we have to share with you tonight. And I want to thank everyone who played along with the concept. And if you're new and this was a little intimidating, thanks for sticking around. And if you don't really fly with the concept, we still want to hear what you have to perform. You know, this is not mandatory. This is just a fun thing we like to do. But we're going to kick it. Normally we start all over the world, but we're going to keep it close to home. We're just going to go down the hall to the left a little bit, and we're going to check in with Robin Schofield. Robin, when you're ready.
Okay, thank you, son. This is my book. It just came out, and I had a great reading at the Little Temple, thanks to Richie and Jorge Gomez, and it was a lot of fun. And I sold out of the books except for a couple of copies. But you can still get it from Mouthfeel Books. You can also get it on Bookshop, Barnes and Noble, things like that. And if you do get it, you can go to Goodreads and review it. And let's see. Oh yeah, I'm going to read a poem by, it's a little bit long, but it's skinny, by Aldo Amparan, because I think he's been to some BWOMS open mics. And he's just a really good poet, and I'd like to invoke his presence at the Poetry Potluck. Obad at the City of Change. It's from his book called Brother Sleep. Sorry. In this city, each door I cross in search of your room grows darker than the sky, this silver dome of morning spread across the urban smog. Country dark washes the city light off the outskirts and beyond. Where you sleep in hiding, where your face wrapped in gauze shines like sequin in the lingering moon drizzle. I reach for you at the corners of the clubs, inside motel rooms, where rent boys tumble, perspired bed sheets, doubling you, your maleness discharged, your hip bones sticking to my thighs, hard stubble of your legs scratching. The night I followed a strange road, looking to forget all this. Starlight spooled the gravel ribbon leading back to the city behind me, back to the hospital room where I last saw you. Tonight, I'll rest on this road. I'll look back to the city of change, where one year 2 skyscrapers lifted, a park shed trees for new thoroughfares, and an old cinema erupted to rebuild itself in its place. I'll stay on the pavement, suspended in time, like the broken sign announcing you are entering blank, a name changed 2 years ago, and I'll wonder if the hot breeze blowing the nape of my neck is your unchanged breath rising like candle smoke from the city. So that's a beautiful poem by Aldo Amparan. And then I want to read one of my favorite poems of my friend Liskin Van Pelt Deuce. Where is it? Yes, it's from her book Letters to My Dead. The little chap, it's a big chapbook. It's skinny, but it's big. In flight. I was thinking about the day we spotted a merlin, and you told me they were once called lady hawks because noble women used them to hunt skylarks. Imagine, how could they hunt skylarks? We spent a lot of time looking at the sky, you and I, or closing our eyes and gazing at the blood orange of our eyelids lit by the sun. Good for our sight, you claimed, and I never wanted to check. I like to take your word for things. Merlins have 2 speeds, you told me, 0 or 30 plus miles per hour, either waiting or killing. Poor skylarks didn't have a chance. Know where their name comes from? They sing in flight, rising and hovering to deliver their multitude of notes. On the anniversary of your death, I want to skywrite your name, a song hanging in the air, the color of your eyes. And then I got to read one, of course, by Mr. Monday Night, Kit Wren. And it's one of his villanelles. And it's called Act Your Age. I have never felt like the oldest in the room. Youth has power, but no certain authority. All of my predictions end in doom. My baby face is charming, but soon it'll be funny when they ask for my ID. But I still don't feel like the oldest in the room. Every silence makes me dread the coming boom. This is read as a youth acting cynically, every one of his predictions ending in doom. I've seen the next generation move from morning to noon, like mine, inventing irony, then discovering sincerity. Yet I still do not feel like the oldest in the room. But the kids today know that I do not zoom. They post mocking photographs of Steve Buscemi. They laugh at my predictions ending in doom. And the elders think my panic, inexperienced folly, one that priests see every day in their laity. I will never be seen as the oldest in the room. That's my prediction. It ends in doom. All right, so those are my cover poems for tonight, my potlucks. And yeah, do think about going to Tumblewords. And it's on Zoom, Mountain Standard Times on Saturdays at 1. And if you're interested in writing a novel, we're even having one this Saturday, right? It's the NaNoWriMo people coming. So, that's it for me.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Robin. I'm going to take that opportunity to call you by your full name one more time, just because we have to maintain a certain level of professionalism, even though we are mother and son. Well, I guess we don't have to, but it's fun. It's fun. Everything's fun. Haven't you noticed that? Well, speaking of fun, we're going to go up to the Rocky Mountain State, and we're going to visit to very early adopter of Zoom technology, someone who I think I first met in an open mic in Spokane that we were both crashing. But then he heard about us, and then he heard about Tumblewords, and he's really become woven into what we're doing in these online spaces. And we're so happy to once again introduce to you Michael Sindler.
Yes, well, I'm very, very happy to be part of it for sure. And I really do think that this particular thing we're doing tonight is a great concept. Thanks for making the space for it, Richie, and thank you for doing it, Kit. Being a good poet, a lot of it is about really being thankful for things, and we are very thankful for our fellow poets. I'm going to do 3 pieces, one of which is somebody who's a BWOMS regular. The others are not, but there are people who I'm very thankful to have met as part of this whole experience. The first one, I have the strange feeling someone else will also be reading a piece by here. And hopefully we didn't both pick the same one, but it is Norm Maddox, otherwise known as Norm Mathematics, who is an incredible poet and an incredible person. And you'll note that I put some information on a celebration for him in the chat. I'm going to let Vale tell you all about that when it's their time, because they can do a better job of it than I can. So I'm just going to read one of Norm's poems out of this great book called 4 Crescents. And the 4 crescents are when you're really upset and you get those 4 crescents in there. And Norm knows about that, and he knows about a lot of other things too. And this piece is called A New Concept on National Defense. There are no casualties in a love war. Wounds waved closed with a caress. Hate and indifference the only collateral damage. Sirens are the early warning system, calling attention to neglect and pockets of fear that could blossom into hate. Hate is bored to tears. Bile-filled messages fall on deaf ears. No one joins their misery. A remedy for indifference comes in large doses of attention focused on hurt feelings. Self-defense, a self-hug, fills combatants with faith and courage to love their enemies to life. Differences and borders are well manufactured fields of creativity, sown, grown, harvested by our children's children. So, the only legacy they know is love bridges, generations and dimensions across time and space, a tesseract with no corners or edges, a new world for our humanity. And this next piece is actually the one that is by somebody who we do know around here, and it is our poet laureate of both BWOMS and of tumble words, the great Robin Schofield. And this piece is called Hospitality. And the epigram is, I inhabit an ancient crossroads where many cultures blend and have blended Paso del Norte. They come here who have journeyed long and hard. You never know when strangers might be angels. Therefore, always let them in. Don't let strangers die of thirst in your desert. They won't know the secret water holes you have mapped in your head as a treasure code. X marks the life you would give to strangers in order to make a friend in the lonely desert, understanding that they would do the same for you and show you the shade of the one tree and acacia, hugging the ground, befriending the ants, the migrants in search of water. Let them in. Either they're angels or they need one. And boy, is that true. And I do want to mention the fact that that is published in this book here, Border Beats, Writing Across Boundaries. It's a anthology of work all about borders and crossing borders, and it actually deals with pieces from around the globe and those borders that are beyond any idea of actual geography as well. And the last piece I want to do is a poet who unfortunately doesn't get around here much. But when I first started coming to things online, it's just like, oh my God, this guy is such an incredible shining soul. He's just the most beautiful, just wonderful, just person. And his name is Unmesh Mahuyakar, and he's out of India. And he runs his own open mic there that unfortunately is too early in the morning for me. But oh my God, he's just such a wonderful person and just such a great spirit. So I'm just going to do a short one. I'm going to read it twice because that's what he usually does, is read his things twice. It's called Motive. Motive is to me. No, I'm going to start over. Motive. Motive is to motivate me, activate me, resurrect me. Rest will take care of itself. So again, correctly, motive. Motive is to motivate me, activate me, resurrect me. Rest will take care of itself. So once again, very thankful for this entire global community net and of poets, and very thankful for BWOMS. So thank you.
You, Michael, for being a part of all of that, and thanks for invoking the spirit of Unmesh. It's been a fair few months since he's been by, but he's been by before. And I agree, that's Saturday morning ends up not working for me, but I wish him luck. So coming up next to our digital stage, I'm not reading that genre. No, we don't side with self-deprecation here. Self-deprecation is out and being comically grandiose is in. So no more self-deprecation jokes. But this next reader does know what a tofurkey duckin' is, but I'm not allowed to ask for some reason. And I'll look into sending her some sweet potato pie as she requested. But coming to us, not from a heaven. Oh, she really went extra in the form this week, and I appreciate it. Not from a heavenly laden holiday dinner table, but she is coming to us regardless. And we are proud to welcome Thin Bell to the stage.
Thanks so much, Kit, and thanks so much for humoring me and reading portions of the see, even Gizmo approves of you reading it. Good evening, everybody. Happy to be joining the wonderful annual potluck. I think I've missed it on past dates. Gizmo's very angry at something, don't know what. So I wanted to cover 3 poets in our community, global community. And the first one I'm going to share is from The Pretty Boys of Gangstertown. This is by Martin Gray. He's a gentleman from Nottingham, and he is a co-director with me in the Poetry Global Network. So the poem is titled, I Should Have Said Something. Why don't they try to speak English? He muttered. The back of a flat cap shaking slowly as a Polish family stowed their luggage a little up the carriage. A private assumption hiding in the background noise of the train as it pulled away from the airport station. Shouldn't be here if you can't speak English, she mumbled. A few flicks of faded hair falling through the headrest, the only clue to who should be, or if her case was full of polyglot mentality from a country where she speaks the language fluently. What annoys me is when they get on with their trolleys, he murmured. You ask them to move their bags and they say no. I leaned into the gap between us at the blotches and wrinkles in the face below the flat cap to ask him what he meant exactly, why a family without a trolley was making them so angry. Can't do anything yet, she mouthed. Their closing eyes nodding with agreement, my resigning eyes averting from what she'd want to do. And when she thought it would be acceptable to do it, falling back into how they'd be deceived when their problems didn't leave after those who shouldn't be here had gone. I said nothing. So that was I Should Have Said Something, from The Pretty Boys of Gangstertown, poetry by Martin Gray. The next poem I want to share is, I believe, it's from an earlier book of Norm Maddox's Black Calculus. And it was available through, I believe, I don't know, I'm not sure, I haven't kept in touch, the now defunct Nomadic Press, I think, I don't know. The title is Reciprocal to Love. Unconditional love has no quid pro quo, no tit for tat, no this for that. Not heavy, but rooted in the marrow of our bone cells. Invent love as you go. How does a river build its banks, looking for borders to flow inside of? Love given freely, love reciprocal to love yields unyielding love, overflowing, never runs out, never. Love demands always, met because love is no demands. Love is always ready. Natural as breathing in, fingertips tingling, breathing out. No waiting to exhale, love pouring out of pores, open to all. In the circle, overlapping circles, surrounded by more circles. Hearts beating in synchrony, feels like a symphony. Definitely synergy. When everyone feels like gravity, drawn to unconditional love. And the last poem, I got this in the nick of time. This is from Marian Teft. She frequents a lot of the open mics. She is glorious. She does the most beautiful moon poems. And so this poem is titled The Roots of Trees. I do not know if the tamarinds and oaks guard their feelings beneath thickened skin, pockmarked by blights and storms, natural and unnatural. I cannot say with certainty. If forest memories ebb and flow through their xylem and phloem, only to accumulate at last in emotional dendrochronology. But I want to believe I do as the hillside elders do when I protect my heartwood in times of distress. Their longing roots plunge deeper, awash in emerald oxytocin that drives them, even through rock, toward the least they need to survive. Like the gnarled giants, I have weathered loss of face and dignity, and near loss of mind in my time. Yet it comforts me to think love burrows on like the roots of trees. Thank you.
Wow, thank you so much, Phil. And what is new in the excuse me, thank you so much, Finn. I skipped ahead a step. But Finn, what is new in the Finn universe? What are the new events in your
I'm flattered to be mistaken for Vale. Very flattered. Coming up is well, I have the call for submissions for the second issue of Mayari Literature. Coming up, issue 2 is on the theme of abundance. I have both, well, Marilee Johnson has both an event coming up with Vocabulary, and it is for her recently released holiday short children's story that I did for a special edition of the mag. Her story is called The Boy Who Caught the Moon. And so she's going to be doing a holiday reading of that and some winter tales the 7th of December she titled it Lattes and Lunar Tales. I love that. Latte and Lunar Tales. So that's going to be on the 7th. Please do join in. She requested that there be an open mic, a tiny open mic afterwards. So we're doing that. And end of the month, we're doing Rhyme Verse, which is poetry games with Eddie Potastic. So yeah. You can find that all in my link tree. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you, Finn. Thank you for everything you do for this whole sphere of like-minded artists. We're very grateful. And we're also very grateful for our next performer who comes to us from the wilds of Pittsburgh. And they have been successful in a lot of different areas, including having their own off-Broadway play earlier this year. And they're really uncomfortable with compliments, which makes it very hard to introduce them, because what am I supposed to do? Say mean things? But but nevertheless, we'll get right down to brass tacks and introduce to you Vale Larkin.
Thank you so much. Sorry, my throat's a little scratchy today, so apologies to the people whose poetry I'm about to read. I have a really quick question before I start. Richie, cuando yo te vi, mi corazón bailó.
Bailo. Oh, that's what you were messaging me. I get it now. Yes.
Yes.
Bailo is fine. Yeah.
Bailó. Thank you. I don't actually speak Spanish, so I had to check. Was the rest of it okay? Because I'm basing it on a lot of Italian.
I'm curious to see how you do it. The other thing is the X is CH Chuco.
I didn't know that. Thank you. Okay. So I'm going to do a piece by Richie first. My thoughts were similar to other people's thoughts in that Richie doesn't get to read enough. And I love his stuff so much. So this is a poem he sent me, which means it's all his fault. Wind-blown world. I am a reckless romantic, nomadic in his antics, frantic for the flight of words to slam into heartstrings, except incoherent mumblings are the inept incantations drawn from the abyss of this pen's empty kiss. I've had many poems eaten by the clumsy dance of a backspace button. You are my work in progress. Isn't that all we ever are? You see, I want to make music. I want that dark, smoky, aromatic tone that legends like Lester Young, Ben Webster, and Art Lewis painted their masterpieces in. When there was nothing left to yearn for, to culminate, from meditate and orchestrate inky sonic thumbprints soaked in the lusty allure of dark corridors and light post forever musings of stardust flicker flame passages. 5:07 a.m. The cosmos are crunched, and Buddha folds over the alarm clock. Stacks of what have you nonsensical rumblings ruminate on frothy, jazz-licked rememberings of your familiar after-kiss. Perhaps this sensitive heart is penance from a past life. For even a tangential universe such as this can explode a kiss into atomic whiplash. This is your love song. So when life is bringing you down, don't forget that ever essential elemental presence in breath, like inhale and exhale. I sling free-form bebop impulses into a Chuco skyline. Sonic smoke signals that swirl and twirl into the air to become misguided mockingbird melodies in search of its music. You move, sandstorm rebop rememberings. Cuando yo te vi, mi corazón bailó. There are 100,000 heartbeats in a day, but the ones that sound like jazz are for you. I still screwed it up. Bad habits. Okay, and this next one is by our other common host for basically the same reason. Actually, I just really love his story poems. And if I could, I'd write like this. Middle management. The I of the poem is not I, but he often resembles me. The I of the poem speaks in my diction and preoccupies himself with my concerns. I do not know if this makes him my employee or my son. Or maybe a plant sprouted from a trimming when When they complain about their circumstances, I do not know if they do so with the helpless wail of a skinned knee or the veiled threat of unionization. When they fail in front of a live audience, sometimes I am vengeful and protective like a mother bear. Other times I am disappointed and grim and inform them they have been reassigned. In a couple cases, let go altogether. A lovelorn I has requested a meeting. He has a list of demands. He is much more handsome than me, which makes his lovelornness inexplicable and cruel and artistically interesting. His first demand is just the word unfair in all capital letters. He is tired of being the Greek on the urn Keats saw, chasing and not catching, drinking but never drunk. He notes that I have no other poems in this emotional register. This is also unfair. This is too much pressure. And anyway, he thought I hated Keats. I love Keats. I don't know where he got this idea. Wordsworth is the one I hate. He wants a better ending. Poems never end, I say. He shrieks in frustration. Not another damn Cohen. I just want some fucking say in the things I am supposed to have done. It sounds reasonable. But plenty of actual people have the same complaint. This is supposed to be about them in the end, right? Not us. A poem isn't a way around or out of life, I lecture the lovelorn one. I put a fatherly hand on his shoulder. He doesn't like it, but he's too weak to shake it off. It has to be weathered, just like everything else. I shove him towards the door. He leaves, as miserable as he's ever looked, and I created him to be miserable. The eyes of my poems are talking amongst themselves. They are restless and stubborn. They are not staying within their lines and themes. They're comparing salaries. I do not know if they are my employees or my children, but they are definitely not plants. And both fathers and bosses know that the revolution always comes. Thank you. And I planned poorly and asked for these last minute and didn't get a third. So that's it. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Vale. And can you talk briefly about the upcoming events you have going on? You've already had one alluded to earlier tonight.
First and most important, book launch for 1,000 Fingers Multiplying, which is a book that the community has put together in support of Norm Mathematics, who is a community elder and mentor and amazing poet, already been read tonight. Maybe a couple people. This book, all proceeds from this book will be going directly to Norm. When I told Norm about the project, his first thought was for all the people he could help with it. So we know they won't be staying with Norm. He's just collecting it. For those who don't know, Norm has been going through a lot of health issues. We are hoping he takes at least a little of the cash if he needs it, but we're happy to help him help others too. All the information is up. The book launch is a reading of the book with some other poetry by the contributors and a feature by Norm.
Excellent. I will also be a part of that as your MC. I really appreciate the primer on Norm's work I've gotten tonight, and I'm looking forward to meeting him and being a part of that when it comes together. So speaking of elders, our next performer is going to come to us from South Euclid, Ohio, where he is the poet laureate, and he presumably rules with an iron fist. I hear they're even letting him into the schools these days. But we're all excited to hear from Doc Janning. So take it away.
Thank you. The first poem is by Mike Sindler, and the title is Hope Is. Hope is to be longed for, dreamed of, a vigil set to await its coming. Hope is to be searched for, to mount exploratory voyages for, following each clue and bent twig of evidence. Hope is to be fought for, defended against despair. Stinging needles of falling hail, hate's dull axe pounding against the door. Hope is to be celebrated even before its coming. Halls strewn with petals for its bare feet to walk on. Hope is to be caressed, the most gentle grasp that does not crush. Two forms holding up the other in silent reverence. Hope is to be free to come and go, knowing the cold days apart will lead to a reunion. Hope is the most welcome guest, the most adored spouse. Hope cannot be bound, will come to you in its own time and on its own terms. Hope will not give or accept a ring or token, will not be a slave to any spoken incantation, whether following in its tracks or opening your gates and windows to allow it entrance. Hope may be elusive, but is no illusion. It is one, excuse me, its one kiss will exceed any elixir, its breath the silent song that makes survival possible. Hope is a trickster that steps out from the shadow, letting you know it has been here all along when you thought it was lost or torn away. Hope laughs in sympathy, never with disdain, a joyous trill to pull lips into a smile. Hope sleeps soundly and soundlessly, but awakes to find you and teach you new songs. And this one is by Vale Larkin. Angels, Atlases, and Ocean Choreography. Their bodies are synchronized by sound. The cloth on their legs is dark and unobtrusive, and every seeming stagger is mirrored by many layers of sameness, making a hazel of the stage, making a liquid, shifting lake. The soul is in the heart, we like to say, or maybe the mind, or stomach, or maybe nowhere, a nothing, an empty quest. Their souls are in their hands, the tension of one or two fingers, making a bird of their flight around the stage. Someone is reaching, someone is pushing, someone is caressing the air like a lover. Here are hands gripping the music like it is the only thing they can cling to in life. Here are hands like dancers too, like they are making their own patterns in counterpoint to the body they belong with. Their bodies are making waves through the space. Their hands are making waves like myriad molecules in the ocean, like a handful of water, like sound creating sight. Synesthesia that every single listener can see. And finally, this is from an anthology titled "Anthology is Irrelevant," subtitled "Poetry in Isolation" from Stairwell Books out of England. The poet is someone some of us have met. I don't remember if she's ever read here. It is, Francesca Kirkpatrick. Where are my pants? Where are my pants? Where are my pants? The day I heard the news say quarantine, I put on my robe and sat glued to the TV. TV dinners I bought after the Christmas sale are always in the microwave. My Netflix is set for the year to binge watch everything I missed. Who knows when I will be able to go back to whatever it is I did. For once, the family is not asking me over for the mandatory reunions and holidays. A coworker said they went to a bar and brought this home to the whole family. No one can get close enough to be mad at them for now for a while. Our boss gave us all time off and may even close the place down. I watch movie after movie, taking notes on what I will do next. Forget dating too. Every time you go to get a test, they have run out. It's not like a pregnancy test. At least you get a baby after that. Test after test, nothing but tests. The thing I won't give a name is killing this world once and for all. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Make up your mind, open, closed. I will stay here as long as I can, ready for plan B and C to infinity. Every day is a new day. I at least find Mr. Rogers on PBS. He is such a great neighbor. For peace of mind, I Zoom my doctors and important groups. I take up new arts and crafts. Stream lessons from YouTube. Oh, what fun. I do miss church and my friends when alone. They remind me they're a phone call away. Then my boss calls and says, "When are you coming back to work?" I scramble around and look for my pants. Where are my pants? Where are my pants? I shake my head and wake up. Was I dreaming? Do I really need to find my pants? Thank you.
Oh, wait, please put on pants. Well, thank you, Doc. Is there anything that you'd like to plug in this space? Like that big old book cover right behind you.
Yes, my first book, Before Today, Beyond Tomorrow, Poems from the Multiverse, is coming out from Venetian Spider Press next Monday. It'll be available in your bookstores and also through booksellers online and through Amazon online. In fact, the preview for it is already up on Amazon.
Well, thanks very much, Doc, for joining us and for bringing some of those works to our attention. Coming up next, someone who's been keeping himself very busy with his company Virtuoso Productions. Someone who's a very interesting presence around town the few times I've seen him. And we're glad he made it home. He checked in while he was still driving. We're glad that he's, in one place for this reading. And we're eager to welcome to the stage Ace Theodore. Ace, when you're ready.
Hey everybody, how's it going? Thank you guys for having me. And yes, you did catch me on the road, actually. Well, I caught you guys on the road. We caught each other on the road, I was trying to get home earlier, but we were at this book signing event, a book release event by Brand Sharks. And I was downtown and, I was trying to get home for this, but you know how it is when you're having a good time passes. But thank you for having me. I thought it was something like where we're gonna like just pass each other, but I'm glad to hear that we could read a poem because this poem that I'm gonna read is from a gentleman that really touched my heart when we were in South Texas. I was in a place where I was a little lost. We had our twins, we had productions on the road, we had taken Snappy Fingers to a few shows, and this poet, I met him through a really good friend, Julieta Corpus. She's also a poet down in South Texas, and we were there to record and take pictures with her. And this gentleman really touched my heart. His lifestyle, the way he lives, the way he presented his poetry. I'll go ahead and put a link later on here so you guys can check him out later. The way I'm going to read it does not justify the way he read it because the ambient was just so wow, So I'm going to try my best. I had promised him that we were going to try and make this in Spanish, and it's been a long time, so I'm glad that that this is a platform. It just kind of happened, and I have the opportunity to like read his poem right now. So thank you guys so much for having us, and I hope you guys enjoy this poem. I'm going to try and mimic the ambient as much as I can, and You know, here we go. Madre Tierra, a las 6 de la mañana, cuando salió el sol, estaba ocupado naciendo, sonriendo instintivamente, arrullando y rodando por la arena, absorbiendo la textura de la tierra en la que he nacido. Mi madre me sostuvo esos muchos brazos, acunó mi cabeza, protegió mi punto débil, mientras me maravillaba con los pies que algún día dejarían las huellas que algún día serían la definición de mí. Esto es belleza y no he aprendido nada más. Mirando hacia el este, hacia la costa, siento que viviré para siempre. Esto es infinito. Hay agua, agua por todas partes, hasta en el cielo. Sigue y sigue hasta que me encuentra en la manera de doblar el oso por la mitad. Hay un brillo en el ángulo de 90 grados que no he entendido. Algún en la distancia comienza a levantar la cabeza y estoy asombrado. Estoy asombrado. Para siempre esto es infinito. Estoy paralizado. No entiendo. Algún en la distancia comienza a levantar la cabeza y estoy asombrado. Estoy paralizado de asombro. Dios mío, alguien ha incendiado el mar. Pero ¿cómo puede ser esto? Un orbe gigante en llamas saliendo del océano. ¿Cómo es que sus llamas arden tan intensamente debajo de tantas toneladas de agua? Esto es algo que yo no puedo creer, algo que no puede ser real. Esto es algo así como un gigante dormido con el que ha soñado. Y estoy aquí para verlo moverse. Estoy aquí, estoy conmovido. Sea lo que sea, desperto al mundo. He encontrado una manera de despertarme a mí también. Tomando los olores que me rodean, me transporto a un momento en el que son las 10 de la mañana. Y he aprendido a gatear. Como una cría en mi caparazón blando y atletas diminutas ansiosas por el mar. Instintivamente descubro un plan sobre cómo llegar ahí, sobre cómo evitar las gaviotas que dan vueltas y que no son más que son culpables de tener que llenar sus barrigas para el día. No se les puede culpar, así es la vida. Y en esta vida los gatos maullarán y cada perro vivirá para tener su día. Hoy no es el mío. Son las 1 de la tarde y llevo 30 años andando y no hay nada en este mundo que haya logrado doblegar mi voluntad. Ninguna jaula huesuda que haya logrado evitar que mi corazón se derrame. Es demasiado grande para mi cuerpo, mi corazón. Es demasiado grande para mi cuerpo. Todo el océano, con todas sus fuerzas, no podría generar tanta furia. No podría generar tal energía para criar algo como yo. todo el sol con toda su lava, por todos sus años antiguos, no podía generar suficiente luz para desenredar los pedales de mi corazón, que se apretaron como un puño en el señal de protesta. Antes de despertar, mi corazón estaba oscuro y duro. Chispas no existían aquí. Esto es sano. Esto es divino. Y yo soy increíble. A las 10 de la noche mis huesos están cansados y empiezo a disminuir la velocidad, pero estoy satisfecho. Nunca he cogido una flor, solo las riego. Eso es lo que haces cuando amas a algo. Lo compartes con todos. Mi madre dice, nunca me eligieron porque estaba destinado a ser amado. Yo fui hecho para el amor y he amado sin restricciones. Son las 23:59 y estoy viviendo a 1000 millas de la distancia de las lágrimas. Soy un anciano ahora. ¿Lo ves? ¿Ves mis hermosas arrugas? Las formas en que trazan un mapa en mi cara. ¿Ves mis hermosos ojos? La forma en que no ven nada si no eres tú. ¿Escuchas mi hermosa voz? La forma en que resuena en la noche. Esto es santo. Esta vida es divina y yo he sido increíble. And yeah, okay, I'm sorry. I don't mean to crash it. When he read it, he really brought this emotions because there's so much going on, so much hate, so much war, and it still keeps going between both parties. The left wing don't fly without the right wing. You know, it's the same bird. And when he brought this, because that's what Snappy Fingers is about, bringing love. And no, none of that hate. We don't care about no hate. You hate Trump, we hate. It's all about love and sharing and just being there for one another, no matter where you at, no matter what state you're at. And sometimes it gets hard, and we lose ourselves and we forget. You know, we forget. And I was a very difficult time when I met him, and he helped me get through it. You know, I just wanted to share it with the world. It's just magical. Thank you, Mr. Anthony, and Damien was on the guitar that night. It was at the prelude and Harlingen, and yeah, that's the poem that I brought to the table, guys.
Wow. Well, that was a very evocative performance, and we're really appreciated you sharing that with us. A happy story about Harlingen. Wow. Something new every day. But thank you. Where else can people find you online?
You could catch me at virtuosoacts.com. Check out everything we do. You know, we're here to make anybody's dreams kind of come true, per se. That's kind of the idea behind Virtuoso. It was created by a bunch of EPCC students. And we continue to, like, you know, anybody has an idea, anybody has a dream, anybody wants to do something, we try as much as we can to get involved. And we help them out as much as we can to bring that idea to life. You know, we cater to any type of event, any type of idea. We bring it to life, and we help out as much as we can to make the best of things. You know, and we get involved with the community as much as we can. And yeah, you know, so also on Facebook, you know, we're Virtuoso Productions, LLC, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, TikTok, any kind of social media out there, you can find us. And my name, well, Alonso Cuellar, so you guys could check me out on Facebook, and yeah, there you go.
Right.
That's me.
That was him. That was Ace Alonso. Thank you for joining us. We're real glad we got to hear what you had to offer. So our coming up next to the mic, person we haven't seen in a few months, and we're very happy to see them again. And they're, in addition to their poetry, they also are a pretty accomplished visual artist. And so welcome back to the BWOMS stage, Tanish Kaur.
Thank you. Hi, Kit. Hi, Richie. Hi, everyone. So I have three, four from other people, and then one of my own at the end. This is from Josiah Luis Alderete. He's a Bay Area poet. You can get this book, Black Freighter Press. And there's this, his name is Armando Delgado. On the counter of the Mercado today, next to the chiclets y chicharrones, there's a small cardboard box with his Xeroxed face scotch taped to it, a handwritten nota in Spanish in cursive Sharpie red that says Armando Delgado murió la semana pasada tratando de cruzar la frontera. Estamos recolectando donaciones para regresar su cuerpo a su familia. Gracias. Armando Delgado ran out of water, died out in La Frontera, trying to walk here to Califas, just one foot in front of the other, and somewhere maybe somebody could probably tell us just how many more steps he had to go before he got here. But that does not matter to the bones of the man who you'll never meet, whose name was Armando Delgado. And this is from Mario Jose Pagan Morales. He's a New Yorican poet. This is from Great Weather for Media, called Receta. And I wanted to read this one. Traje verde y red lipstick. In this picture, you wore an emerald dress, red lipstick, eyelashes, mommy's wig, el traje, te queda a la moda. I am told you were lit. You catwalked, struck a pose, bien chuchi, didn't break, a sweat, mommy said. She didn't forget your laughter, the dime bag caused when I went to sleep. How silly, I thought. What is Papi doing in mommy's clothes? You seemed so free. Pretty good. And then this is Florencia Milito. She wrote Itusengo, which was available at Nomadic Press, but I think it's been carried over to Black Lawrence Press since they closed or shuttered. And I wanted to read this one and the one after it. Totem Animal. The night before the parapolicias burned my father's family home, La Casa de Ituzaingó, taking particular care to scorch a book about Cuba on my very proper Catholic grandmother's nightstand, a gift from her most irreverent son. My mother had a prophetic dream about an owl, its clipped wings, bulging yellow eyes, and knew we had to flee. Se amamanta el terror. Passed down in the mother's milk. I carried with me those eyes into the dark blue wreckage of exile, their hypervigilance now mine. And the next one after it, Order. After the revolution failed, my father turned to mathematical equations. Fear is the most damning legacy of any dictatorship, how it follows you to clear across the world, how, like Darwin's adaptive characters, it too was passed on to the offspring. For years, I thought defeat smelled like my father, clean-shaven, meticulous, and hungered for that bearded student leader who, expelled for throwing eggs at corrupt church officials, found work in the factories. And yet my father's characters formed in most exquisite calligraphy. A quiet dignity accompanied his impulse to order. Equations packed neatly on the page, integral signs frozen, like mummified birds, their silhouettes still intact. And this one is the one, I think it was written in English and then translated into Spanish. She's Argentinian. And then I have a poem from Terence Hayes. It's from American Sonnet for My Past and Future Assassins, or Past and Future Assassin. It goes like this. Inside me is a black-eyed animal racing in a small stall, as if a bird could grow without breaking its shell, as if the clatter of 1,000 blackbirds whipping in a storm could be held in a shell. Inside me is a huge black bull, balled small, enough to fit inside the bead of a nipple ring. I mean to leave a record of my raptures. I was raised by a beautiful man. I loved his grasp of time. My mother shaped my grasp of space. Would you rather spend the rest of eternity with your wild wings bewildering a cage, or with your 4 good feet stuck in a plot of dirt? And then I wanted to close with my own attempt at an American sonnet. I don't think I've read this here, but it's Double Sonnet for the Lost at Sea. I hope I haven't read it here. Up the hill until my breath breaks, on a mission to listen to the shore. Sure, if I didn't have the ocean, my heart would crack ribs to find it. Is there a season other than beach? Yes, fog or rain, which feel like Earth itself is a seafloor. I walk past chatty places, wiggle my feet to the laughter. I lose my shoes, I fling them over the cable lines. Then my socks slide, heel then toe. What a fancy way to court the waves that read the hieroglyphs of the caves. In my mind, make me bend to their will. Breath becomes water, I drown in delight. Down the hill through tufts of unkind smells. Follow me to the library, the sea to Market Street, toward the chaos of hollowed faces, a hallowed existence. You could argue, could make a case for them if judgment comes. Is this a poem for Jesus? The epicenter of tent cities up ahead. We pass the kneeling, and jolting, not unlike children fighting sleep. I know a few poets who once were homeless, some long past heroin addictions. Is this a poem for Jesus? As I collect sheets printed with these little verses, or for the brilliant minds we may never know. The end. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Denise, for bringing some of your own local scene to our to our town. And is there anything on the radar? Any events you have coming up that we should know about?
Not that I'm remembering. I have a book coming out soon, but it's kind of been in the progress for like a year, so I think you've already heard about it, but it's actually happening. So maybe in a couple of months.
Hey, excellent. Well, we look forward to it. Thank you again, Tanish. And so now we come to a certain time of our reading, where my tone sort of takes on a weird kind of pleading, because I am doing my best to give this man a tribute, but but I always talk myself into corners, and because I can't make this work like he can, except no substitute. There we go. And so you already know, It's time to please welcome from Washington, D.C., Ed Poetastic.
Thank you, thank you. You made me feel so fantastic. Thank you for being so bombastic. There's no contest that you are rhyming outside your chest. Yes, yes, yes. But anyway, my name is Ed Potastical, feeling fantastic. Please get in time to control my rhyme file sublime. I got 10 Thanksgiving jokes and I got 3 poems, so I won't take too much time. The first joke has to be why shouldn't you sit next to a turkey at dinner? Because he will gobble it up. How did the peas feel when they found out everyone preferred mashed potatoes? They were green with envy. What do you call a running turkey? Fast food. Got any cornbread jokes? I do, but they're corny. What's blue and covered in feathers? A turkey holding its breath. Why did the comedian ask you to pass the bread? He was trying to get on a roll. What's the best song to play while cooking a turkey? All about that bass, about that bass, about that bass. What did the dressing said to the turkey? You ain't seen stuffing yet. Why did the turkey cross the road? He wanted people to think he was a chicken. Why did the potato apologize? He mashed up. And last but not least, why did the cranberries turn red? Because they saw the turkey dressing. Happy Thanksgiving. All right, I got 3 pieces. My first piece is called Home. Home is where the heart is. Home is where the soul is. Home is where the love is. Home is where the memories is. Home is where heaven is. Home is where hell is. Home is where the angels is. Home is where the demons is. Home is where happiness is. Home is where sadness is. Home is where the sun is. Home is where the rain is. Home is where the root is. Home is where the dirt is. Home is where the blessings is. Home is where the curses is. Home is where the wings is. Home is where the chains is. Home is where the light is. Home is where the darkness is. Home is inside you and me. Well, welcome home. Thank you. Well, for a wonderful open mic, I was participating in this wonderful potluck where you read someone else's poem. And this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful poetastic poet actually gave me one of his best. Thank you, Richie. This is called Juxtaposition. Beginnings and endings are mirror images, and sometimes I just lose track of the difference. I have found home in the secret passageways of stories and their shadows. Let us be silent now and listen to everything in between. I spit truth for truth's sake. Everything else is simply the physics of that poetry. I know you and I love you. Let's call that knowledge. The corners of your mouth are brilliant. I know because I've been awake to feel the glow from the first break of light, from the first minutes of a new day, gently fall upon your skin, illuminate the profoundness of your brownness. I know because I felt the way of bodies evolve into softer creatures of compassion. Dust of the earth settle in our skin. I know because I know because A, I know because there's a devious geometry to be found in the fault lines of your lover's lips. It's tremulous techniques that unsettle in the trimness of basses of butterfly barness. Our planetary expressions painted over more from the interstellar dust that dances in the furnace of our hearts. A desire for exploration, gravity's infatuation with the spectacular has led us to this. 800,000 years later, some scientists unearth a fragment of your finger bone, but not once did they ever consider your capacity to be a lover. Thank you, Richie. I hope I didn't butcher it. Thank you. Little hand for Richie. Last but not least, this is called I'm Still Standing. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm still standing. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Don't you know I'm still standing? Better than I ever did. Look like a true survivor. Feel like a little kid. I'm still standing. After all this time, pick up the pieces of my life without you on my mind. You're a ghostly fragment inside my mind. Now you leave me far behind. I feel sad, but I'm not confined. I feel confused, but I'm not blind. I was dancing on glass just to please you. I was changing to captivate you. I burn my money just to worship you. I starve for hours just to feed you. I admit I lost my head. My eyes were rosy red. I couldn't sit still or go to bed. My hungry heart hung by a thread. I thought she was a woman of my dreams. Her presence made me feel supreme. I was in love to the extreme. I was blinded by a backstabbing scheme. I was her prisoner, held by chains. The pain was hard to explain. I was a slave in her self-deluded domain. I cried a wild hurricane with a great chance of rain. I was a big sucker like no other. My common sense nested right under. I was a runner, but I just suffer. I truly believe I was her lover. It was a pale, frigid spring. Only our differences sings. Only the silence stings. I was a foolish king. I was a dog on a leash. I was a bird in a cage. I was wilted on the beach. It didn't get better with age. I couldn't take it anymore. It rottens my bloody core. This facade I could have ignored. I ran quickly out the door. The things people do for love. It doesn't make any logical sense. Some say it's a gift from above. If I have one defense, it is that we were innocent. If I fall in love, I'll think of this song. I'll do anything for love, but I won't do that. If it doesn't fit like a glove, it is wrong. This is a matter of experience and fact. I'm still standing, not as a little kid. I'm still standing, much better than I ever did. I'm still standing, without a knowing lid. I'm still standing, something I can't undid. Thank you so very much.
All right, thank you, Ed. And we heard earlier that you have poetry games coming up. Do you want to talk a little more about that? Plug that a little more? Oh, red bars. He's frozen. Okay.
Oh,
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Ed. All right. So coming up next. Oh, sorry. We actually lost your connection for a bit. If you want to repeat what you just said, I'm sorry.
oh, sure, no problem. Did you hear my I'm Still Standing poem, or should I go for the top?
No, we heard the whole poem. When I prompted you to plug, that's when it cut out. So if you just want to plug again, real quick.
Oh, sure, no problem. I'm having a workshop at November the 30th. Back to Popular Demand, Rhyme Verse Part 2. Everyone loved it, so I made another workshop that talks about the history of rhyme. So if you're suffering from writer's block, Come. You have a good time. The info will be in the chat. But if you want to follow me, please feel free. My Facebook is Eddie Foreman, and my IG is Eddie Foreman 92. And remember, if the mic tribe be there to shine my fantastic inside. If you send me a question, the answer is yes. Hope everyone stay safe, healthy, and blessed. Never stop spewing or saying the words outside your chest. Never stop feeling and being your best. And happy Thanksgiving, one and all.
All right. Thank you, Ed. Thank you for giving us a take two on that. Sorry for the technical hold up. But these are basically spells. We have to say them in the right order. Who knows what would happen if we didn't? I don't want to take that chance. Neither should you. But coming up next, someone you've heard from indirectly all through the night. And this is not bullshit. This is not filler. This is not shtick. Like, we would not be here without this man. He works so hard at this, and I'll never figure out how to repay him for all this, but I'll keep trying. But I want you to please welcome Richie Marrufo to our stage.
All right, thank you. I'm so not used to being on this end. You know, I've done it before, but what's up, everyone? Thanks for tuning in. Got some cover poems for you. Super fun to read. This one is from Vale Larkin, and I think somebody else. We also heard Desert Rituals today, so I love that this one's called Ecstatic Rituals. There has always been a rhythm to the life and flow of us, of our arms and out our legs kicking. There has always been the beat. There has always been the rhythm of the earth, bending of the trees, breathing of the light and the mystery, breathing and the life. We step so carefully now. Like too much weight will break the soil and send us diving, core-bound, crushed. A firm foundation gives the illusion of permanence, folly in our shifting existence. How our bodies call us, wringing away our hard, even lines into bends, twists, and shapes out of daydreams, all moving at once. There's a sound to the rhythm of the beat of the beyond, and beyond is all of us. We're all breaking the boundaries set by our fear. We're unleashing, and this is the way of the dance. Music is the way we soak into deep pools of shadow, the way we sparkle in the spot, staggering, scintillation, and the way we break bodies into beats, notes, and soul. We are everywhere the music flows. We show ways to the waves, to the world out beyond, where we give up our chains for unmaking. Bring in the night soaked in rich darkness and lights in the air, like night made concrete, like light that takes up space. The air so charged it glows in the soft, warm cacophony of the sound around us, made matter, made mortal, rising from the dark like revelation and carrying our hearts up, so even the peak of the grief of each fade into change makes us weep, makes us sing, and dancing we spin. Here we hold out our arms to the whole world, encompassing darkness, staggering light, and the mind to the body, to air, to the earth, and around the globe, spinning like a dancer as she kicks her hips to the beat of the bang, and the stars that sing are spinning. It's all one single motion in these moments in time. You're in concert, you're inside, and there is nothing else. Inside all of us, there is nothing that doesn't belong. Okay. So thank you, Vale, for sharing that. That's Ecstatic Rituals. All right. And we've had lots of hype for this, but Ridge of High Pressure, Mouthful Press. It was really great to see Robin read this at the college. And honestly, I actually did have a hard time picking one to read out of this. There's so many really, really good ones that I love. This is called Heat Death of the Universe. And again, you can pick up a copy at Mouthfeel Press. Heat Death of the Universe. Coyote knows dawn and slips over the third dam. Time to feed the young and settle in while the sun bakes behind North Peak of the Franklins. I know an old Jeep trail you can spend your time climbing. Mountains moving through eons. A stone wears down. Rain takes it to a sandy riverbed, though the river won't flow come fall. It takes time to break it in fields where crops know to blossom, then bear. The bee knows her circle dances. At maximum entropy, I cannot tell the story better than sparrows scattering. Really love that line. And to end this set, you saw Kit hold it up earlier, Body of Panther Volume 3. It's really cool because both of us have, I think, 2 poems published in these. Actually, I think I have 3. No, I don't know. I don't remember. But this is one I haven't heard in a while, but I do remember back in the day when Kit was coming back, not just Black Orchid Lounge, but we would do the open mics at the Rock House Cafe and Gallery downtown El Paso. And this is one of the first poems of Kit's that stuck with me because I especially loved so much of it, a lot of the literary allusions, but also just the ending is killer. So this is Statement of Measurable Learning Outcome. It's a Sestina by Kit Wren. Poesy is poesy because of structure. The poet is the poet because of his control over sound, stress, silence, and other wild phenomena. He tames them, brings their energy to heal. If well his words, he may resemble the gods, and that's why Shelley said, though unacknowledged, the poet rules. People, though, have a way of resisting rules and not seeing the value in sheltering structure. They tear down the symbol of someone else's control and say, the hell with all this. Let's be wild. We won't tamper with pretty lies. The truth of our energy or power will rise. Resistance overcome, we will be as gods. But the hardest part of immortality is gods staying gods. And as punks get psoriasis, their heresies become rules. The wreckage they created become improvised structures. Their spasms are reframed as esoteric control, and high-belted bald professors tell their charges, be wild, be real, like Pollock. Fuck form. Be pure energy. There's no longer room for figures or gods in the academy or the church. And the new set of rules make sestinas and sonnets and other vain attempts at structure akin to murder, which is the only certain form of control. Better to break up the concrete and let everything grow wild. But who is to say that my wild looks like your wild? That the jungle and the meadow don't have the same green energy? You've been enjoying your time as fair-haired gods, but it won't be indefinite. Those are the rules. The practice chaos you've learned is still a structure and is easily wrecked by one person with control, and you will be amazed at how I control and ride upon the backs of animals thought wild and compress their roars and howls into 39 lines of energy. You'll swear. Even the lines I ride have thoughts of the gods and hereafter and speculations about who rules and who created the zebras. They spy from their structure. The lions will learn, determine rules, harness their energy, dream twitching of gods and battles of control, overcome this structure and become the new next wild. All right, that's it for today on these, but these were fun to read. Thank you guys for letting me read them. Cool.
All right. Thank you, Richie. Thank you so much. Yeah, I have not read that one in probably a year or two. I don't know. It's a bit of a commitment, but yes. Not sure if I stand by it philosophically, but it sounds cool. It sounds really fucking cool. It's fun to like rediscover your work in someone else's voice. This is a cool experience. Thank you for being a part of it, Richie. And well, going up next, we're going to go real quick to the streets of Los Angeles, and where our farmer poet teacher makes his way through the world wearing all those different hats. So welcome to the stage, Mr. Tezazomok.
All right, thank you guys. I just wanted to let you know that I got pulled back into work, so my time that I would spend here was spent commuting, which is not as much fun. But I'll try to do the best I can to try to make some of the events. But I'm definitely with you guys in spirit. So I'm gonna go in with 2 covers and then a song. The song obviously is a cover, so they're all potluck offerings here. Meditación en el umbral. Rosario Castellano, Mexican feminist author. No, no es la solución tirarse bajo un tren como la Ana de Tolstoy, ni apurar el arsénico de Madame Bovary, ni aguardar en los páramos de Ávila la visita del ángel con venablo antes de liarse el manto a la cabeza y a comenzar a actuar. Ni conducir las leyes geométricas contando las vigas de la celda de castigo como lo hizo Sor Juana. No es la solución escribir mientras llegan las visitas en la sala de estar de la familia Austen, ni acercarse en el ático de alguna residencia de la Nueva Inglaterra y soñar con la Biblia de los Dickinsons debajo de una almohada de soltera. Debe haber otro modo que no se llame Safo, ni Mesalina, ni María Egipciaca, ni Magdalena, ni Clemencia Isaura. El otro modo de ser humano y libre, otro modo de ser. De otros poemas, 1972, by Rosario Castellano, Meditación en el Umbral. Umbral is hard to translate, kind of translate like threshold, but it's more like the foyer or like the curve on the foyer that typically you have, so the threshold. No, here's my translation for you guys to consume. No, it is not the solution to throw oneself at a train like Tolstoy's Anna, neither to hurry the arsenic of Madame Bovary, nor to hide in the Avila when the visit comes from the ranging angel before tying the silk veil on the head and beginning to act, nor to conclude the laws of geometry by counting the beams in the holding cell as Sor Juana did. It is not the solution to write while company arrives in the living room of the Austen family, nor to be locked up in the attic of some New England residence and dream with the Dickinson's Bible under an old spinster's pillow. There has to be another way that is not called Messianic, nor Mary of Egypt, neither Mary Magdalene, nor Clemencia Isaura. There has to be another way of being human and free, another way of being. And then I wanted to read this other piece because we lost an elder recently, Tupac Enrique. I met him in '98. He was a Yaqui descendant, Mexican American. I met him in Guadalupe at the Pascua Reservation in 1998, and when I first saw him, he was like built and stoic, and I said, "Oh my God, that's what Cuauhtemoc would have looked like." It was something that was very impactful at that time, and he was a great dancer at that time. Later, I found out he was also originally was a great flamenco guitarist in his early youth, and then he gave all that up to fight for indigenous rights. So, I wanted to dedicate this work that we did about 20 years ago It was a translation and rearrangement of their Cantares Mexicanos is a collection of 20 songs that survived the conquest. So I will sing the Nahuatl, and there's a reason why I like this song for Tupac because Mi Mixcoa Quick, la canción de la serpiente de las nubes, the song of the cloud serpent, is in the region of the north of the desert. And so I'll sing it and I'll give you guys a translation. Chicomosto Kinawaki, Siwactitlan Kinawaki. Chicomosto Kinawaki, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, Teyomin Sanin Sanin, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, Siwactitlan Kinawaki, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, Teyomin Sanin Sanin, Hanewapani Sanin Sanin, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin. Oyani temok, oyani temok, oyani temok, notsiwa pumi kimu, notsiwa tiwa kimu. Oyani temok, oyani temok, oyani temok, notsiwa kani nu, oyani kani notsiwa nu. Ni noki, noki maki, niki maki. One, Niki Maki, we, Niki Maki, Niki Maki, one, Niki Maki. Chico Mosto Kinawaki, Hanewapani Sanin Sanin, Kanewapani Sanin Sanin. So Chikomosto Kinawaki is in the place of the 7 caves. He inserted it. Siwactitlan Kinawaki, in between the barrel cactus, he inserted it. Chicomosto Kinawaki, in the 7 caves. Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, truly he began his voyage alone, alone. Kanewapani Sanin Sanin, in Teyomin alone, so he started his, verdad, truly he began his voyage alone, alone. So this is one of the creation myths, is a battle between Itzpapalot and Mimishkoa. And Mimishkoa, Itzpapalot is very angry at the Mimishkoas because they killed her 400 sons, which were the stars. And Mimishkoa is typically associated with the Milky Way. So this is so I dedicate this song to Tupac, who is joining the Milky Way with his Mimishkoa. And then I'm gonna jump into a song. Went down old Joe barroom on the corner by the square. And as usual, the crowd was there. On the left stood Joe McKennedy. His eyes were bloodshot red. He turned to the crowd around him. These are the words that he said. I went down to St. James Infirmary. I saw my baby there. Lying on a long white table. So sweet, so cold, so fair. I went up to see the doctor. She's very low, he said. I went back to see my baby. And great God, she was lying there dead. Let her go, God. Bless her wherever she may be. She may search this wide world over, but she'll never find another man like me. When I die, please bury me in a high top Stetson hat. Put a gold piece on my watch chain, so they know I'm standing. Get 6 gamblers to carry my coffin, 6 chorus girls to sing my song. Put a jazz band with Richie playing saxophone on my tailgate to raise hell as we roll along. This is the end of my story. got the St. James Infirmary.
All right. Little Cab Calloway for the people.
Yep.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Tess. Do you have anything in the offers right now?
No, just I had something for Thanksgiving. I put it up on my Substack, and so folks can catch it there. And there is a video somewhere rolling around that goes with it. So, folks can follow me on Instagram under Gaseous2019, tessosomok.substack.com, and then the Pandemic Poets on Facebook. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Tess, and thank you for those covers before the song, the Rosario Castellanos. That was a thinker I should be more familiar with, and for the tribute to your fallen friend. That was learned a lot just by a simple Google search while you were.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. So, yeah. Well, thank you again, and thanks to everyone who was part of the Poetry Potluck. It was a very, very great night. But I'm talking like it's over, and it's not over, because there's only one. Even on a holiday like this, there's only one way we can ever end. So we're going to call the old right-hander and head around third base. So everyone, please welcome Dan the Man to the stage.
Can't hear you, Dan.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, guys. Since this is potluck Thanksgiving, I have there's two small ones. I stumbled onto this one. You'll like this one. Hold on. Okay, just give me a sec. All right. There's a short one. It's called ML Kaiser from Ippolite. It's called Thanksgiving Meal. Hang on a sec. All right. Okay. Big old turkey smothered in herbs and butter, chock full tasty dressing, cranberry sauce, and well mashed potatoes, pumpkin pie, grand. Yeah, that was short. Okay, hang on. Okay. Thanksgiving Fare by Teresa Stevens. I like this one. Thanksgiving Fare. Roast turkey with all trimmings, cauliflower, cheese, goat fat roasted potatoes, crisp pigs in blanket, cranberry, jelly, candles lit, serve. Yeah, it was cool. Okay. And this cranberry y'all been waiting for. Okay, not that one. I guess you are familiar with this by Nancy Ness called Cranberry Sonnet. The waves roll on and gulls above soar high. Lone foghorns chanting Cape Cod's solitude, the dunes at rest beneath the autumn sky, envelope peaceful beaches once imbued, bright foliage adorns the countryside, surrounding sun-dry bogs of cranberries. This summer's tourist verdate's welcome tide. Now boast majestic hues of burgundies. Synthetic lakes spew forth from each bog's moat, releasing berries from the harvest, and buoyant crimson carpets lies afloat in just abeyance, being scooped away to conjure up a sauce with cranberries. With ocean spray, and have with the turkey for Thanksgiving. Yep, once again, Cranberry Sonnet by Nancy Nest. All right, so yeah, so I know this Thursday's Thanksgiving, so y'all have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. And before I get out of here, come on, not again. I'm trying to share an image here.
Okay, it should work now, Dan. It wasn't turned on. You were
There we
slamming
go.
that button, but that wasn't gonna do it. Yes, it should work now, yeah.
Okay, give me one sec. Okay, here it is. Once again, read it a wee bit. Still behind schedule. And yeah, so like I said, just find Dan the Man's Weekly on YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe. Twitter's now X, and just keep following me on Instagram, and don't forget the hashtag Dan the Man's Weekly. I still have the Facebook. Just hang tight. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. All right, guys. Y'all have a safe and happy Thanksgiving. All right, back to you, Kit, and let's have Richie to call it a night. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving to you too, Dan. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Dan.
Yeah, those are some pretty appetizing poems you read. Thanks very much for that.
Thank you.
Okay, so to quickly get my plugs out of the way, to the best way to keep track of everything I'm doing, both around the city with BWOMS and on Zoom with both this mic and Tumbleworks, is to follow me on my Instagram, Kit Wren Away. That's where most of the writing stuff goes. I also have a football history blog, kofi.com/KitWren, if you're into that kind of thing. Admittedly, it's not everyone's thing. It's a weird combination, but it's over turkey and cranberries if you think about it. So give it a chance. Give it a shot. And of course, I do run the Tumblewords Project. We're a generative writing workshop. We meet every Saturday, 1 to 3 Mountain Time. And it's all about getting new works out and getting comfortable with reading aloud. And it's been in charge of it now for over a year. It's something I wouldn't have known how to ask for, and I'm really lucky to keep it going. And this Saturday, it's very exciting. It's our second annual crossover with our friends in the local NaNoWriMo chapter. Michelle Monares, the new lead over there, is going to have a brief presentation for us. And we will sprint instead of writing the prompts, as they like to say. And so let's all promote peace between the nations, peace between poets and novelists. That's what it's all about. And December 2nd is going to be Sandy Shakes from the Los Angeles area. She's already very excited about this, and we're happy to see that energy for her. And her workshop's going to be called Poets in Wonderland. It'll be me taking the stick just for a quick year in review. something, just a fun little thing that I've done. And December 16th will be Riding for the Dark Times, our tribute to our founder, Donna Snyder, presented by Cassie Holguin Petinato. So that is the rest of 2023 in Tumbleworks. And if you're live in El Paso, if you're live in the 915, I will be hosting this Friday at Craft Rhythm and Brews at our poetry and music mic there. The Saucedo family make great beer, are great hosts. They have a great little space that's wonderful for if you want to play your little guitar, or if you want to read your little poem, or if you want to read your big poem. And so maybe I'll see you Friday. Maybe I'll see you Monday. But I'll see you when I see you. We'll kick it back to Richie for the formal close and the pushing of the big button.
That's awesome, man. I feel like from now on, just for show, they actually sell this thing. They have like a big red button they sell that you can push to make things happen. So maybe I could connect it to the end stream. That'd be pretty fun to incorporate. But shout out to all the performers today. Loved having everyone on. It was really fun I mean, obviously every Monday is super fun to see what people bring to the table, but to hear other works read by other people is always fascinating, and it's interesting to hear different voices. Um this Friday. Oh, also, yeah, Fridays are fun at Craft Rhythm and Brews. It's once a month, but that's usually one that Lara Lynette goes to, and she's an awesome singer-songwriter. We've got a couple of musicians that have hit me up. Tomorrow we're going to be downtown at Mona Bar. It is our Verse and Harmony open mic, which is just for music and poetry. In fact, we have a hell of a feature. Back in the day, we had the homie from San Antonio come in and play music. Nowadays, he goes by Nicky Diamonds. Check him out on Instagram. But he's going to be coming to town, and he's going to be featured artist. So he's gonna hold down a good chunk of the show. Otherwise, I'm going to keep this exit or this outro nice and short. Again, if you guys are watching from EPCC, just message our social media Barbed Bar Open Mic Series and ask about the QR code if you tuned in. Shout out to everyone who was part of the live chat. Sandy Hills, always. Julian, a couple other peeps that were here. Thank you guys for keeping us company. But we'll see you guys next Monday. And if you want to perform, come on through. The water is just fine. All right. Have a